What's up, y'all? It's Drees the Beast. Ken got nerfed. Yes, you heard that correctly. Capcom just released Ed earlier today, and along with that came some balance changes for a few characters. Nerfs to JP, thank God, buffs for Ryu and Jamie, and nerfs for our hero, Ken. But is it really that bad? Well, let's go over all of the changes in detail. I also want to remind you guys that this is only a preliminary balance patch to address some more glaring issues. Capcom has stated that there will still be a huge balance patch in a few months or so, presumably before CBT Season 2 starts in June. Alright, so first things first, let's pull up the list of changes for Ken, put it on the screen here, and let's just go over each and every change. So there are 3 changes in general here. I'm going to start with the standing light punch. So the size of the arm hurt box between frames 2 and 6 has been expanded. The size of the arm hurt box between frames 7 and 8 has been decreased. So there are a couple of things here. I'm going to show it in motion. This is a nerf and also somewhat of a buff. And let me show you what I mean. So the size of the arm hurt box between frames 2 and 6, between 2 and 6, has been expanded. Meaning that I'm going to set Luke to just spam his crouching light punch. Very good button. And the main benefit that I see with Ken's jab is drive rush jab, right? This is his strongest tool in using this. And what's happening here is what they did was they expanded the hurt box between the earlier frames of the earlier startup frames. But what they did was they decreased the hurt box in the later frames. And usually when you're using Ken and drive rushing with jab, you want it to hit as late as possible. You space it correctly, you want it to hit as late as possible. And even in this example, you're seeing that Ken is getting he's getting stuffed in the earlier phases of him doing a drive rush. But if you space this more, there's no trade here. Typically before this patch, sometimes I would get a trade in doing the drive rush light punch as late as possible. It would typically trade. But in this case, since I'm hitting it on the last few frames, the hurt box has been decreased. So it makes it easier to land this without too many repercussions or trades or getting stuffed. So honestly, this is kind of a buff in my eyes. You're typically not wanting to do drive rush jab super close up. Like, yes, you know, it's definitely a really strong option, but in neutral, when you're wanting to initiate with Ken, you're wanting to space it to where the jab hits as late as possible. So that is actually a buff in regards to that. So that's my take on that. You know, I'll take it. I'm cool with that, especially in the way that I utilize his stand light punch. So that's good. All right, now let's talk about what everybody has been kind of overreacting about. His throw loops, knee strikes, forward throw, has been adjusted so that if this throw connects on an opponent in the corner, some distance will be placed between the players after the throw finishes. Initially, or essentially, nerfing Ken's throw loop. But it's not a nerf. It's really not. He still has throw loops, and that's the most important thing here. Let me show you. So, you know, you do throw, boom. You can see that Ken is spaced out really far after he finishes his throw. He gets less plus frames. You know, all of that is obvious, right? You know, he can dash up. He can dash up and do jab, and still stuff Luke doing his 4-frame jab on wake up, but he was also able to do that before the patch, so that's not a big deal. What really is the big deal here is that you need to walk up in order to get the throw loop now. You can no longer, you're not close enough to just, you know, whiff a jab and then go again, you know, whiff crouching jab and throw him again. Like, you're not close anymore. So all you have to do is throw. It's a little bit tougher, but you can still throw loop consistently. I'm beating his jab every single time. What you have to do is just immediately walk forward and time the grab. It's a little tight. You know, I've been practicing this, you know, a little bit. Try it out. And you can see how consistently I'm getting this. It's easy. It's not obviously as brain dead as as it was before, and that's fine. You know, I'm okay with that. But his throw loop is still there, and it's still good. You know, so that is not really too much of a concern of mine. It's not as great. There's less options there. So in terms of maybe meaty options, maybe you can just walk up fierce. You know, you can still kind of do that. You know, you keep them guessing. You know, there's still some mix-up potential there. You don't have as much advantage, like I mentioned, but you still have options. You have meaty options. You still have the throw loop. Ken is good. I mean, you know, slight change, but I'm cool with it. I think it's an overreaction. I'm still going for it. You know, I don't. I'm gonna still throw loop people, and that's what I'm gonna do. So, not too bad. That's not too bad. Okay, now let's get to the heavy stuff here. The biggest nerf here is actually to Ken's OD Air Tatsu. Let's read it. The landing recovery for when this attack misses has been extended by 7 whole frames. The collision push box has been adjusted to make it more difficult for opponents to jump over this move. This is a terrible nerf. Let me tell you why. So, to give a little history on this right here. So, the purpose of Ken's Air OD Tatsu was primarily to escape the corner. So let's put him on block. This was always used to escape the corner. You know, it makes it hard for the opponent to anti-air. You know, catches them off guard. It's hard to autocorrect with DP. It's very tricky. It's tricky, and escaping the corner. It's really good. It's a really good option. So what they did was that they made it where the landing recovery is extended by 7. So let's see just how bad the landing recovery frames are now. So let's set Ken to do it. And typically this is how the sequence would go, right? Try trap, you see that? Boom. You see how much time Luke had to punish that for a full combo? Oh my lord. Let's look at that again. So, go for a grab. You see it? Look how much time Luke has to do a full punish. It takes a lot longer for Ken to recover after doing the OD Tatsu in the air. It's always going to whiff because you're using it to escape the corner, and that's the main change. On hit, the landing recovery does not change. So, for optimal combos or whatever combos you use the OD Tatsu, it'll still combo successfully. There are no changes there. But in terms of his main escape tool, you have so much time to punish him on landing, and that really is the biggest nerf out of all of this. It sucks, but I'm probably going to take this out of my game, especially when people really start catching on to that and just how punishable it is, because it's very punishable now. So I'm definitely going to probably remove that from my game, but that is by far the biggest nerf to Ken in this, I guess, end of season patch. So that is it to the changes to Ken for this balance patch. Ken players, don't fret, don't be discouraged, please. Ken is still a very good character. He's not, to create a little controversy here, he's not top 5. He wasn't top 5 before, and he's not top 5 now. So keep that in mind. For the Ken haters, you guys got a little gift. So shout outs to you guys. But we'll still be out here. But thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more content coming in the very near future. Until next time.